If you're a guy over 40 and you're thinking you already know how to please a woman, I need you to hear me out because most men are getting it completely wrong. And the scary part, you might be unintentionally killing the mood, making her feel frustrated, and even sabotaging your own confidence without realizing it. Most guys won't like what I'm about to say, but it's the truth. Foreplay isn't just kissing and touching the way movies make it look. There's a science behind it, and when you understand it, you can literally become the man she can't stop thinking about. Stick with me, because what I'm about to show you will change the way you approach intimacy, and it works for any woman, every single time. All right, before we dive in, let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Camila Hayes, and I've spent years helping men over 40 reclaim their energy, boost their confidence, and take their sexual performance to the next level, all naturally, without gimmicks or risky shortcuts. I work with guys who are tired of feeling off in the bedroom, who notice their drive isn't what it used to be, or who just want to feel like themselves again. I've seen firsthand how small changes, rooted in real men's health and understanding how our bodies change with age, can make a massive difference, not just for performance, but for long-term health and relationships. So yeah, I know what works, I know what doesn't, and I'm going to break it all down for you today in a way that's simple, practical, and actually doable. Here's the deal. Today, I'm going to break down exactly what works for foreplay with women, the kind that never fails, even if you feel like you've tried everything. We're going to cover the science behind it, what most men get completely wrong, and the step-by-step approach that actually gets results. We'll go through 5 specific strategies that are backed by real physiology and sexual health research, and trust me, the last one is something even most doctors overlook, and it makes a huge difference in how connected and turned on a woman feels. Stick with me, because by the end of this video, you're not just going to know foreplay, you're going to master it in a way that feels natural, confident, and way more satisfying for both of you. All right, let's take a step back for a second and talk about why foreplay, even before you touch a woman, is so important. Most guys think it's just about kissing, grabbing, or going straight for the main event. And here's the problem. What a lot of men don't realize is that sex, for women, is mostly in the brain. That's right. Their arousal starts long before anything physical happens. See, as men over 40, our bodies are changing. Testosterone levels naturally start to dip, blood flow isn't always as strong, and energy can start to wane. But here's the kicker. Women's sexual response also relies heavily on hormones like estrogen and oxytocin, and emotional connection triggers those hormones. So if a woman doesn't feel mentally or emotionally turned on, your mechanical approach isn't going to cut it, no matter how fit you are or how smooth you think you are. Think of it like this. Your body is a high-performance car, and foreplay is the fuel. Without warming it up properly, the engine just won't run smoothly. Most men try to skip the warm-up, and that's why frustration builds for both partners. Another thing guys don't get: timing matters more than most realize. Women's bodies respond differently depending on arousal, stress levels, and even the context of the relationship. Trying to force things physically without first building anticipation, trust, and comfort is like trying to start a fire with wet wood. It's just not going to spark. And here's why this sneaks up on men. When we're younger, we can get away with being a little rough, a little impatient. Things just work on instinct. But once you hit 40 plus, instinct alone isn't enough. Your hormones, your energy, and even subtle psychological cues start playing a bigger role. So if you don't adapt, you can easily feel like you're failing, and that hits your confidence hard. But here's the good news. Understanding these changes gives you an unfair advantage. Once you know how her body and mind respond, you can trigger arousal in a way that feels effortless, natural, and actually enjoyable for both of you. And that's exactly what we're going to get into in the next section, where I break down the 5 strategies that actually work. First, build emotional connection before touch. All right, first and arguably the most important step, build an emotional connection before you even touch her. Most men think foreplay is all physical, hands, kisses, the classic make the move stuff. But here's the truth. A woman's arousal starts in her brain. Stress, distractions, or feeling unappreciated completely shut down her sexual response. What's happening inside the body? When a woman feels safe and emotionally connected, her brain releases oxytocin and dopamine, those feel-good hormones that increase sexual desire. Without that, even the best physical moves feel flat. For guys over 40, this is critical because as we age, we tend to get more task-oriented in life. We rush, we want results fast, and we sometimes forget the emotional side. Think about your day: work stress, bills, responsibilities. If you show up in the bedroom like a machine, she will notice, and it kills the mood. So, what should you do? Start small. Compliments that are genuine, playful teasing, meaningful conversation, touch that isn't immediately sexual, like holding hands or brushing her hair. Most men think foreplay equals touching everywhere. But what actually works is connection first, touch second. It's a mindset shift. Evidence? Look at any sexual health study. Emotional intimacy is strongly linked to female arousal and satisfaction. Common sense says it too. When a woman feels wanted for more than her body, she's naturally going to respond physically. Second, master the art of slow physical touch. Second, slow down. I mean really slow. Most men, especially after 40, are in a rush, sometimes because they worry about performance, sometimes because they're conditioned by porn or movies. That go-fast approach almost always backfires. Physiology time. Nerves in the clitoris, neck, inner thighs, and other sensitive areas respond to gentle, consistent stimulation. Rapid or rough movements often overstimulate, trigger discomfort, or simply get ignored by the nervous system. Your touch is a signal. Slow, intentional touch tells her brain, I'm focused on you, not just the goal. For example, a man I see in my practice, 45 years old, used to think foreplay was just kiss, grab, go. His partner would often lose interest or tension would rise. Once he learned to slow things down, tracing her arm, kissing the neck, pausing to make eye contact, her responsiveness skyrocketed. So here's what to do. Think sensual, not mechanical. Start with a light touch. Focus on reaction, not speed. Explore. Notice how she responds and adjust. This simple shift changes everything and creates intimacy that lasts longer than a quick rush to penetration. Third, stimulate anticipation and mental desire. Third strategy, anticipation is everything. Think about the last time you were really excited for something, maybe a vacation, a concert, or even a meal you love. That anticipation makes the actual experience exponentially more enjoyable. It's the same in foreplay. Here's what's happening. Your partner's brain starts releasing dopamine as she anticipates pleasure. This isn't about teasing in a mean or manipulative way. It's about building excitement naturally, emotionally, and physically. For men over 40, the challenge is often routine. You've been with your partner for years, and the spark can fade if you rely on old patterns. Adding novelty, playful texting, teasing glances, or hints about what's coming makes a big difference. Practical step. Try a day of light, suggestive messages, or subtle touches during the evening. Don't rush it. Most men assume, if I want sex, I have to start now. Wrong. Stimulate the mind first, body second. Fourth, pay attention to her entire body, not just the spot. Fourth, this one's huge. Women are not one-dimensional in terms of physical response. A lot of men focus almost exclusively on genital stimulation, thinking that's the shortcut to success. But what actually works is engaging the whole body, neck, ears, shoulders, inner arms, even her back. Physiology? Women have nerve endings everywhere. Stimulation outside the genitals can actually increase blood flow, hormone release, and overall responsiveness. It's a cumulative effect. Slow, thoughtful attention to the whole body primes the sexual system for maximum arousal. For men over 40, the common mistake is impatience. Maybe you're tired, maybe your testosterone is lower, or maybe you're just used to go, go, go. Take the time to explore, notice responses, and vary your touch. You'll see a massive improvement in engagement. Here's an example. One of my patients, 52, reported that his wife often seemed disconnected during intimacy. Once he learned to focus on her full body, not just the obvious zones, her response was immediate. more desire, more excitement, more connection. Fifth, combine communication with feedback. Finally, number 5, talk about it. Sounds simple, right? But most men hate this step. Many think communication kills romance. It doesn't. It amplifies it. What's happening inside the body, feedback, even nonverbal, ensures that the physical stimulation aligns with her pleasure zones. Misalignment or discomfort decreases arousal and, over time, erodes confidence in men. For men over 40, your body and energy may have changed, so being open to feedback is crucial. Ask questions like, "Do you like this?" Or, "Should I slow down?" Listen. Adjust. You'll notice her body responding more positively, and it will boost your confidence too. Compare what most men think. I should just know what she wants. Reality, even experienced men improve massively when they integrate communication into foreplay. Evidence is clear. Partners who discuss preferences openly report higher sexual satisfaction. Let me give you a real-world example of how these strategies actually work. I worked with a guy, let's call him Mike. He was 48, married for 20 years, and feeling like the spark with his wife had all but disappeared. He came to me frustrated, tired, and embarrassed, saying things like, "I don't even know how to turn her on anymore. I feel like I've lost my edge." Mike's lifestyle was pretty typical. Long hours at work, late nights, not much exercise, and he'd been ignoring his own energy and hormone changes for years. He assumed the problem was all on him, or worse, that she was just not interested anymore. When I dug deeper, we discovered a few key issues. First, he wasn't building any emotional connection before intimacy. Second, his foreplay was rushed and almost entirely physical. Third, he wasn't paying attention to her body's responses or giving her time to mentally and physically anticipate arousal. So here's what we did. I taught Mike to start with genuine connection, compliments, playful conversation, affectionate touch that wasn't immediately sexual. We worked on slowing down during physical touch, exploring her full body, and noticing subtle feedback. And finally, he started openly checking in with her preferences, asking what felt good, what she wanted more of. The results? Within a few weeks, his wife noticed a big difference. She felt more desired, more connected, and intimacy became something they both looked forward to again. Mike himself regained confidence, not just in the bedroom, but in his energy and overall sense of masculinity. The lesson here, guys, is simple. These strategies aren't just theory. They work in real life, even for men over 40 who feel like the spark is gone. It's never too late to reconnect, improve your performance, and actually enjoy intimacy again. All right, let's clear up a few huge myths that are holding a lot of guys over 40 back. These are the things nobody tells you. Not your buddies, not the internet, and honestly, not most doctors. Myth number 1. Foreplay is just touching her spots quickly, then moving on. Wrong. Look, the body alone doesn't drive arousal. Her mind does. If you skip emotional connection, slow exploration, and anticipation, you're basically just going through the motions. That quick mechanical approach might have worked when you were younger, but after 40? It's a fast track to frustration for both of you. Myth number 2. She should just respond the way she used to. Not true. As you age, both your and her hormones change. Her arousal might take longer, or she might need more mental stimulation. Men over 40 often assume, "I used to get her going in 5 minutes. Why not now?" Reality check. Your physiology is different now, and your approach has to be smarter, not faster. Myth number 3. Talking about it kills the mood. Actually, the opposite is true. Most men avoid communication because they think it's awkward or unsexy. But asking questions, noticing reactions, and adjusting based on feedback doesn't kill intimacy. It builds trust, comfort, and desire. A woman who feels understood is far more likely to respond enthusiastically. Here's the part nobody tells you. These myths keep men frustrated, anxious, and disconnected. When you ditch them and embrace connection, anticipation, slow touch, and communication, you flip the script. You're no longer guessing. You're leading in a way that feels confident, natural, and incredibly effective. All right, let's quickly recap everything we covered so it sticks. First, build that emotional connection before you even touch her. Her brain drives arousal, not just her body. Second, slow down with your touch. Gentle, intentional, and patient beats, rushed and mechanical every time. Third, create anticipation. Mental desire comes first. Texting, teasing, playful hints all work wonders. Fourth, pay attention to her entire body, not just the spot. Explore, notice, and respond to her reactions. Fifth, communicate. Ask, listen, adjust. Feedback isn't awkward. It's how you make her feel amazing and boost your own confidence. Remember, these aren't tricks. They're science-backed, practical strategies that work for any woman, especially when you're over 40. If you're a guy over 40 and you want to take your confidence, energy, and performance to the next level, here's what I want you to do right now. Hit that like button if this video is helping you see foreplay and intimacy differently. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future tips that actually work for men like you. And drop a comment below telling me, what's your biggest struggle in the bedroom right now? I read every single one and I want to help. Also, I've got a free guide for guys over 40 with step-by-step strategies to improve hormones, energy, and sexual performance. The link is right in the description. Grab it and start making changes today. Don't wait. Every day you wait is a day you're leaving energy, confidence, and connection on the table. You're not alone and you're not broken. Reconnecting with your partner, boosting your confidence, and enjoying intimacy again is completely possible, especially after 40. I'm Dr. Camilla Hayes, and I'm here to help you do it the right way. Stay strong, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.